Hello everyone, this is Sharon and I'll be sharing how I make my chocolate banana bread. I've never done this before, but I don't like gatekeeping things and I want to share how I make my banana bread because I like sharing it whenever I do bake it. So I want to quickly preface this by saying I had used a recipe that I had looked up, but unfortunately I did not write down where I had gotten that recipe. I'm trying to be better about crediting where I got or base recipes that I use. That being said, with every recipe that I do use, I usually do tweak it and use the recipe as a base. Like if I feel like there's too much sugar, I will lessen it, and vice versa. That being said, I'll put the recipe somewhere, maybe in the description, somewhere, trust. But here I am just mixing my dry ingredients. That'll be 1 cup of AP flour, all-purpose flour, 1/2 cup of cocoa powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And it's funny because I didn't finish writing down the recipe. I put 1 over a question mark of teaspoon of baking soda. So kind of just eye it, make it to your taste. And for my dry ingredients, I will usually sift most of them. I don't remember if I sifted my brown sugar because it has that bigger, grainier texture. If you do sift your brown sugar, I really don't see the harm in it. The point in sifting it is just to make sure that there's no clumps when you mix it, and it makes it a little easier on you. And for your wet ingredients, just make sure you have at least 3 large brown bananas. You know, we want them soft and mushy. Melt 1/4 cup of unsalted butter. Get 1/4 cup of veggie oil. 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. 1 large egg. And then if you'd like, 1 cup of chocolate chips to make them extra chocolatey. I did not know where my chocolate chips were, so I just used the cocoa powder. And when you are mixing your dry ingredients with your wet ingredients, I like to do it a little bit at a time so it's not super hard to mix and it doesn't get clumpy. I would recommend trying to empty your wet ingredients into your dry ingredients maybe 1/3 at a time. So 1/3 of the mix into your dry ingredients, mix, then another 1/3, mix, then another 1/3. And as you saw a few seconds before, I took some almonds, I put it in a Ziploc bag, closed the Ziploc bag, got a meat tenderizer, but you could use anything that will basically do the same job as a tenderizer. Put my sweater under a cutting board, then put the Ziploc bag on top of the cutting board. So because we have granite, I didn't want to mess with the granite by tenderizing my almonds on the cutting board and on the granite directly. I'm just kind of decorating my banana bread mixture as I like. I put almonds on it. You can put any nuts of your choice. Just make sure it's with respect to people's allergies. Some things I've done before I think are almonds, pecans, cashews, and then if you can see when I'm poking, just wondering checking if my banana bread is ready. I poke it with a stick, and if it comes out clean, it should be ready. But if it's like a little wet, then it's still a little doughy inside. Here, I forgot what I'm doing here. Hold that thought. I remember I was trying to make Brazilian cheesy bread at the same time as banana bread, just experimenting. I think that's a different video for now, but yes, I what do you call it? Accessorize, decorate. But it's not just for decoration, it's for flavor and texture. Yeah, I will use nuts, and then I was kindly gifted by my friend some sprinkles. They're kind of like fall themed. They're brown, I think, orange and yellow, and it just adds that little crunch and sensory experience. I completely forgot one of the most important parts. You're gonna want to pop this in the oven to bake for 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 50 minutes to an hour. Another thing I forgot to mention about those overripe bananas, I personally used a fork to mash them, but I'm sure you could use any other utensil that would get the same job done. Just make sure that they're fully mashed, that there are no lumps, and that it mixes well with your wet ingredients. With the things that you're putting on top, whether you put sprinkles or nuts, personally, I put the nuts in before I baked it, so they're like crispy, I guess, roasted, oven baked, if you will. With the sprinkles, I'm honestly not sure if I put them before or after. With these sprinkles, I believe I put them before. I want to say I put them before, and they showed. You know, they didn't melt into the batter, so they were fine. Here, I am sifting some confectioner sugar or powdered sugar on top of the banana bread, and it gives it a nice look and taste. Not too sugary. And with this recipe, I actually made 2 batches, so if you want to make more than 1 batch, just multiply everything in the recipe by the number of batches you want to make. But yeah, I'm just sifting sift that powdered sugar onto the banana bread, and then it shouldn't melt. I don't think it melted. It was obviously still visible, the confectioner sugar. It didn't melt into the bread, even though it was a little hot. But if you're super concerned about it, you could wait for it to cool down and then put the confectioner sugar in it. So if you've followed along to this recipe and came out with something a little like this, I want you to give yourself a big old pat on the back. Yeah. And that was the batch I made for my friends. And this is how we ate it. We had some hot cocoa, marshmallows inside hot cocoa, and then the banana bread. It was super cozy, just chatting and drinking our hot cocoa, eating our banana bread. And if you know me, I love cozy things, and I love sharing said cozy things. So I hope if you make this recipe that you get to share it as well with people you love. As I said, I will be sure to put that recipe somewhere, probably in the description, somewhere where y'all could easily find it, because I feel like with this voiceover thing, getting used to it, I was all over the place, so I'll try to make that accessible to y'all. I think closings are weird. Closings are like goodbyes. So let's leave it at see you later. Until next time. But yeah, stay safe and take care. Bye.